What if I told you one of the most important parts of your recovery journey is actually the one thing that you probably have no desire to do? Before I even get into it, I need you to realize that I am not sharing anything with you that I don't do myself. The only things that I share here are things that I share that have worked for me and that have also worked for my clients. The big question that I have for you is, what are you grateful for? If this question is difficult for you, and if you don't like where this is going, you are so not alone. A majority of the world, especially in our current society, really struggles with this whole concept of gratitude. And if you're anything like the me of 3 and 4 years ago, just hearing the word gratitude makes you roll your eyes. I mean, heck, I hated sitting down at the Thanksgiving table because we all had to share something that we were thankful for. And it all felt so superficial. And frankly, I didn't really know how to truly be grateful. Our brains are geared to find the negative. On a biological level, it is so much safer for our brains to lean towards negativity, lean away from gratitude. Why? Because if you're grateful or if you lean in towards the positive, you're more apt to take risks. And risks equal danger, and danger equals death to the brain. Even though we're no longer having to hunt down our food and run away from predators, our brain still has this concept of fearing fear. And the best way to avoid fear is to hide away and think that you're a horrible person with nothing to be grateful for. That's the absolute safest place to be. And that's honestly how most of us as survivors have ended up. But that hasn't worked out up until this point. And frankly, it's miserable. As someone who lived in that space for a really long time, I know what it feels like to be so angry, so heartbroken that you truly don't even know how to properly experience gratitude. So I don't want this to be something that you use to beat yourself up or something that you ignore altogether. I want you to sit down and do the work and listen to what I'm about to share with you, because I promise you that doing this one simple mindset shift with the word gratitude is going to unlock a whole new level of healing on your recovery journey. Because our brains are geared toward the negative, we give it so much more attention than we do anything positive. If we do something good, we pay so much more attention to the one little bitty piece we screwed up than the whole project that we did all together. If our kids screw up, we freak out and yell at them. But if they come home with a good grade, we just say, oh, good job, and go about our day. We don't give proper attention to most positive things because our brains just aren't wired to recognize them. This can turn into a nightmare for the recovering brain. If you get stuck in this place, what happens is that you don't ever recognize how far you've come. And if you don't take a second to recognize just how far you've come, you're never going to be able to truly see the potential of how far you have to go. Because instead of celebrating, okay, I've gotten here, you're just too pissy about the time that you tripped up. You're not where you want to be in the amount of time that you want to be at it in. You're not perfect yet. You haven't reached that point. And that's really dangerous, because if you stay in that place, you're never going to move forward. And you're constantly going to be doing the scared Scooby-Doo run in place. It is time to flip the script. Have you ever seen that quote that floats around on Pinterest and Instagram that says, what you focus on, you get more of? If you are anything like me, you've probably brushed this off as a woo-woo thing that those hippies say, but it's actually really true. Think about it this way. Think about a moment where you're just like, oh my gosh, you know what? I really think I want a yellow car. That feels like it's so me, and I want to get a yellow car. So you're getting all hyped up on the fact that you really want to get a yellow car. And after not noticing any yellow cars in your area for the past however long, all of a sudden you are seeing yellow cars left and right and everywhere. Is this because the universe is conspiring against you to show you how many yellow cars are there and everyone's just out making sure that they're in your path? No. It's because when you focus on it, your brain becomes hyper aware of these things. And so what this means is that this is a superpower. What we focus on, we get more of. So, however, this superpower can most definitely be used for good or evil. As straight women who have been abused, we can get into this place of going, okay, I hate men. All men are terrible. I've been hurt by men, and I'm never going to trust another one, and they're all going to be awful. And then you focus on that, and then you try to get out and date. And what happens? You end up with all of these dudes who are absolutely horrific, and you can't even believe that they're even allowed to have a profile on a dating site. And then you begin to give up altogether because you're so convinced that all of these men were terrible. Now, am I saying that it's your fault that all these men came to you? No, but it's because your brain is so hyper focused on those types of men. Those are going to be the ones that you notice. If you truly believe that life is terrible and it's out to get you and absolutely nothing is ever going to go right for you, then that's how your life is going to be, because that's what your brain is tuned into. That's the station that your brain is on. And so all it's going to hear is all of the ways that it's horrible and awful and never going to get you where you want to go. With all that being said, that means that if they can be used for evil, this can also be used for good. If we shift our focus and shift what we're looking at, we can absolutely change our life. Is it because we're going to radically turn the whole thing upside down? Maybe, but it's actually going to be because we're changing what we're looking for. We're going to start noticing that there are more positive men, maybe in the media or friends, partners, men that are actually there to support us. You may happen upon some TikTok accounts that actually give you hope in the men of this generation again. You may end up finding that there are a few bright spots in your life that you didn't even notice because you were so focused on all the horrible parts. What you expect, you attract. What you focus on, you get more of. But hold up. I am not coming to you with some Pollyanna BS. I am coming to you as a formerly self-described angry person with a rage addiction. So I totally know what it's like to live in that place. And as someone with a rage addiction, I am definitely still in recovery. So I am not saying that you need to be Pollyanna happy all the time. But what I am saying is that it is not healthy, nor is it good for you, nor is it good for your future to suppress or hide any emotions, including the positive ones. So if we want more good things, if we want more positivity in our life, we need to push more positive energy out there. I am not saying by any means that we need to suppress any negativity, but we also need to allow the positive things to come through so we can appreciate both the good and bad parts of life. You can choose to continue to hate your life and continue to be miserable, or you can switch and start seeing things through a lens of gratitude. Every time I use the word choose, I get a whole lot of people who are not happy with me. And again, I'm not judging. I used to be that person. But the truth is that it is a choice. Our brains are hardwired towards the negative, so that's the easy choice to make. It's the easy default setting to lean into. However, it's still a choice. You can choose to change that and choose to put in the work in order to heal from that mindset and shift to a new one. Just like how I share that confidence is a skill that you need to grow, gratitude is the same way. If you are new to the process of gratitude, if you're new to the practice of gratitude, this is going to take time and it's going to feel uncomfortable. Your brain is incredibly stubborn, and anything new you throw at it, it's going to end up giving you some attitude back. So don't expect to wake up tomorrow and be like, oh, I'm so grateful for life, and I'm so grateful for the sun, and oh, I'm so grateful that my car broke down on my way to work. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that this is going to take time and it is worth putting the effort into. So what I want you to do is get a journal and have it be your dedicated gratitude journal. This is going to be a place that you go to every night or every morning, however you choose to do it. And what I want you to do every night before bed or first thing when you wake up is I want you to write down 5 things that you're grateful for. I'm not talking about just the roof over your head or for your health. If those are 2 of your 3 things, that's totally fine. Like, we all got to start somewhere. In fact, it may be a while before you can get really deep, but it is really important to begin to look at our lives and think about all of the things we do have and show gratitude for them. I want you to truly think about the things that make such a big impact in your life and the things that you're truly, truly grateful for. One of the things for me that makes a big impact is my morning coffee. So when I was little, I lived with my grandparents, and every morning my papa would make a big old pot of Folgers coffee. I'm never going to forget that. It's Folgers coffee. That was the one he drank. And I detested the taste of coffee. Plus, I was a child and already had enough energy. I had no need for caffeine. But I loved sitting with him in the morning and watching the History Channel or Discovery Channel. Animal Planet was my personal favorite. And even though I hated drinking coffee, he'd pour me my own little half a cup. So I'd sit there as a little kid and I would smell it because coffee just smells so delicious. And we would sit there and have our morning coffee together. Me just smelling mine and him drinking his. And that for me is a memory that is forever locked in my brain. My papa passed away several years ago now, but now every single time, now that I'm grown and I love coffee, I think about him every single time I have a cup. Whether it's iced coffee or hot coffee that smells so strong, I think of him. And every time I have my morning coffee and I sit down with it, it's as if I'm sitting down across the table with him, silently watching our favorite shows. That memory to me is priceless. And so when I write down I'm grateful for my morning coffee, I'm not just talking about the energy boost or that it makes me a pleasant person. I'm so grateful for the time that I had with my papa. And even though it was cut short, I'm so grateful for that. And I'm so grateful that I get to feel his presence every time I have a cup of coffee. Now, if you're watching this and you're going, holy crap, that was so deep. I'm not even there yet. That's totally okay. This is going to take time and it is a practice. Just like there's a practice of yoga, right? It's a yoga practice. You have to do it consistently to get better at it. Just like confidence is a skill, you have to be in the practice of building your confidence to build it up. Gratitude is the same way. I don't want you to hear my description and have you feel like you're defeated already because you're not there. It's going to take time. It took me probably 6 months to, I don't know, almost a year of me doing consistent gratitude for me to really realize why coffee was so important to me and how special that relationship with my papa was. So as you're going through this, I want you to get consistent and write things that you're grateful for. 5 things at minimum. If you want to do more, that's totally fine. But as you're going through this, I want you to think of the cumulative effect. If you're struggling to think of one thing that you're grateful for right now, but you're committed to starting this practice of doing 5 pieces of gratitude every single night, you're going to reach a point 10 days from now where you're going to have 50, I was going to like hold up 5, like as if this is 50, but you're going to have 50 pieces of gratitude. You're going to have 50 things that you're grateful for that you can go back and look over on a bad day and go, man, I do have a lot to be grateful for. My son's making me want to rip my hair out, but I just remember the time where he picked a flower and he was so excited to put it behind my ear. Oh my gosh, I am so behind in work and I have a client call, but oh my gosh, I remember this with my last client. I remember when she had such a breakthrough and it made my whole week. When you have these things to look back on, even though it's not easy, this is going to become a resource for you to keep and constantly look back on. So developing this practice of gratitude, while it may seem oversimplified and it may seem over talked about, it is definitely super important. Now, if you're anything like me and you love to overcomplicate things and this sounds just too easy for you, I want you to do this anyway. I want you to take the time and do the 5 things. A lot of the times we hear 5 pieces of gratitude every night. That's not going to make a difference. And then we never do it. And because we never do it, it's never going to make a difference. But what we don't realize is that something as simple as writing down 5 pieces of gratitude every night before bed or first thing every single morning, you're not only going to change how you view life, but you're actually going to change up the structure of your brain. And just doing this simple thing on repeat, just getting consistent with your practice of gratitude, you're going to not only teach your brain to look for things to be grateful for, but you now have a resource to look back on and go, okay, today sucked. This last week sucked. I'm going through a lot and I can't handle it, but I have an entire book of things to look back on that I can be grateful for. Does that take away from how bad it sucks in the moment? No. Does that take away from how bad you hurt right now? No. Does that take away from the fact that your heart is breaking inside of your body? No. Whatever it is. But this is going to help your recovery. This is just going to help you bounce back. And as someone who once woke up and wished that I didn't, as someone who tried to take her life on more than one occasion, this gratitude practice literally saved my life. And I don't say that lightly. Waking up and finding things to be grateful for every single day gave me a reason to live. Even as a mom, I did not want to be alive. And having my gratitude list right there helped me to shift out of that dark place and recognize that even though things were hard, even though things were dark, even though I felt like I couldn't even see the world around me because it just felt like it was closing in, my gratitude journal became my flashlight and I could see, okay, one step in front of me. And it went from a flashlight into a lantern. And then it showed me that there was a switch on the wall that I could turn on and everything else changed. So when I share these things, I am not saying this just to be fluffy or to be, cute or to give you a quote to slap on your Pinterest board. I am saying this because it truly, truly changed my life. And it is not something to overlook. So gratitude, 5 things. You can do 5 things. 5 things tonight, or 5 things first thing in the morning. In fact, what I would absolutely love for you to do is down in the comments, I want you to drop something that you're grateful for. I want you to drop one thing that you're grateful for in the comments. If you want to drop all 5, hey, go for it. If you want to drop 100, I will hype you up. Go ahead and do it. But I want you to drop at least one thing that you're grateful for, no matter how simple it may be. Maybe you are grateful for your cup of coffee because you were probably going to attack your coworker today if you didn't have caffeine in you. Maybe you are grateful that you woke up today because you've been sick for the last week. Maybe you are grateful for the roof over your head because when you were a kid, you were homeless. Maybe you're grateful for having some new art to put up on your walls. Maybe you're grateful for a new video game or for a new friend. Whatever it is, start there. And then once you have that, you only have 4 more to come up with today. So just at least one thing, drop it in the comments. I want to cheer you on. If you would rather keep it anonymous, send me a DM over on Instagram at karleigh.lynn. I answer all of my DMs personally, and I am here to help. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and never forget that you are strong, you are capable, you are intelligent, and boo, you are so freaking worthy.